Let's take a closer look at that phrase, high yield, because language matters, especially in finance. When you hear high yield, your brain automatically compares it to something exceptional, something above average, something that's doing the heavy lifting for your money. But in reality, a high yield savings account is only high when compared to a traditional savings account, which frankly sets the bar incredibly low. If a standard account gives you close to 0% and another gives you 4% or 5%, it feels like a big jump. And yes, technically it is better, but better doesn't always mean good enough. Here's where the problem starts. Most people stop questioning once they hear high yield. They assume their money is growing meaningfully. They feel productive, responsible, even financially savvy. But if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, that confidence can be misleading. Because what really matters isn't the number you see, it's what that number does after inflation. If inflation is sitting at, say, 5%, and your savings account is giving you 4%, you're not gaining. You're actually losing purchasing power. That means over time your money buys less, not more. And this is where the illusion breaks. You think your money is growing because the number in your account is increasing, but in real terms, your wealth is either stagnant or slowly shrinking. It's like running on a treadmill. You're putting in effort, you're moving, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Now compare that to other asset classes, stocks, index funds, even certain types of businesses. Historically, they've returned significantly more over the long term. Of course, they come with volatility. Prices go up and down. That's the trade-off. But that volatility is also what creates real growth. A high-yield savings account removes that volatility, which sounds appealing, but it also removes most of the upside. So what you're left with is stability without meaningful progress. And that's the key idea here. High yield is a relative term, not an absolute one. It's high compared to something that performs poorly, not high compared to what's actually possible. And once you understand that, your perspective shifts. Instead of asking, is this better than my old account? You start asking, is this the best use of my money? Because financial growth isn't about choosing the safest improvement. It's about choosing the smartest allocation. And sometimes what sounds impressive is just cleverly marketed mediocrity. Let's talk about safety, because this is the biggest reason people love high-yield savings accounts. They feel predictable, reassuring, in control. Your money won't suddenly drop 20% overnight. You're not checking charts. You're not worrying about market crashes. And psychologically, that sense of calm is powerful. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. Safety isn't free. It comes with a cost. And that cost is growth. When you choose to keep your money in a risk-free or low-risk environment, you're also choosing to accept lower returns. That's the trade-off. Always has been. In finance, risk and return are connected. You can't separate them completely. The moment you remove most of the risk, you also remove most of the potential upside. So yes, your money is stable, but it's also limited. Now, at first, this doesn't feel like a problem because nothing bad is happening. You're not losing money. Your balance is slowly increasing. Everything feels under control. But the real issue isn't what's happening today. It's what's not happening over time. While your money sits safely in a savings account, other assets are moving. Businesses are expanding. Stock markets are compounding. Real estate values are increasing, and you're not participating in any of it. This is where safety becomes a silent liability, because the gap between where your money is and where it could have been starts widening. At first, it's small, easy to ignore, but over 5, 10, 20 years, that gap becomes enormous. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Avoiding risk entirely is in itself a form of risk. It's the risk of not reaching your financial goals, the risk of outliving your savings, the risk of always playing catch-up. Now, this doesn't mean you should take reckless risks or throw your money into things you don't understand. That's not the message. The goal isn't to eliminate safety, it's to balance it. Because real financial confidence doesn't come from avoiding all uncertainty. It comes from understanding it and managing it wisely. Think of it this way. Keeping all your money in a high-yield savings account is like never leaving your comfort zone. You won't get hurt, but you also won't grow. And over time, that lack of growth becomes the bigger problem. So the question isn't, is this safe? The better question is, what is this safety costing me? Because once you start asking that, you begin to see that playing it too safe might actually be the riskiest move of all. Now let's talk about something that doesn't show up on your bank statement, but quietly shapes your entire financial future. Opportunity cost. This is one of the most important and most misunderstood concepts in finance because it's invisible. There's no notification, no warning, no line item that says, here's what you could have earned. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. Opportunity cost is the price of the road not taken. Every time you choose to keep your money in a high-yield savings account, you're not just choosing safety, you're also giving up the potential returns you could have earned elsewhere. But because that alternative never happens, it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like nothing. And humans are very bad at noticing losses that don't look like losses. Let's make this more concrete. Imagine you have a certain amount of money earning 4% in a savings account. Now imagine that same money invested in a diversified portfolio earning, say, 8% over the long term. That 4% difference doesn't sound dramatic. But here's where things get interesting. Over 1 year, it's small. Over 5 years, it's noticeable. Over 20 years, it's life-changing because of compound growth. Your returns don't just grow, they grow on top of previous growth. So that extra 4% doesn't just add up, it multiplies. And the longer your time horizon, the more brutal the gap becomes. What started as a safe decision slowly turns into a costly one. But again, you won't feel it happening. You won't wake up one day and see money missing from your account. Instead, you'll just arrive in the future with less than you could have had. And that's the danger. Opportunity cost doesn't create pain in the present, it creates regret in the future. Now, this doesn't mean every rupee or dollar should be aggressively invested. Short-term needs matter. Liquidity matters. Peace of mind matters. But when large portions of your long-term money sit in low-return environments, the hidden cost becomes significant because time is your biggest advantage in building wealth. And when time meets low returns, that advantage is wasted. Whereas when time meets higher returns, even with some volatility, that's where real wealth is built. So the goal isn't to chase the highest possible return. It's to be aware of the trade-offs. To understand that every financial decision isn't just about what you gain, it's also about what you give up. And once you start seeing opportunity cost clearly, you stop asking, is my money safe here? And start asking, is my money working hard enough for the future I want? Because in the end, the biggest financial losses are often the ones you never see. Now, after everything we've discussed, this is where clarity matters most. Because the takeaway isn't savings accounts are bad. That would be too simplistic and honestly unhelpful. Savings accounts do have a role, a very important one. But the problem is most people don't use them strategically. They use them habitually, and those are two very different things. A habit is automatic. It's unexamined. It's something you do because it feels right, or because you've always done it. A strategy, on the other hand, is intentional. It's purposeful. It's aligned with a specific goal. And when it comes to your money, that distinction changes everything. Let's start with where savings accounts make sense. They're perfect for short-term needs. Your emergency fund? Absolutely. Money you might need in the next few months? Yes. Planned expenses like travel, bills, or a big purchase? That's exactly what they're for. In these cases, stability matters more than growth. You don't want to invest your rent money. You don't want market fluctuations affecting your emergency fund. So here, a high-yield savings account is doing its job perfectly, protecting your money and keeping it accessible. But here's where things go wrong. People take that same logic and apply it to all their money. Long-term savings, future goals, wealth-building capital. Everything gets parked in the same place. Not because it's the best option, but because it feels safe, familiar, and easy. That's habit. And habit can be expensive because money that won't be used for 5, 10, or 20 years doesn't need the same level of protection as money you might need tomorrow. In fact, overprotecting long-term money is what prevents it from growing. So instead of asking, where should I put my money? A better question is, when will I need this money? Because your timeline should dictate your strategy. Short-term money, keep it safe and liquid. Long-term money, I'd give it the chance to grow. This is how financially confident people think. They don't treat all money the same. They assign roles to it. Some money is for security, some is for flexibility, and some is for growth. And once you start separating your money like this, your decisions become clearer. You stop overusing savings accounts as a default, and you start using them as a tool exactly where they add value, because the goal isn't to avoid savings accounts. The goal is to stop relying on them for things they were never designed to do. They're not wealth-building vehicles. They're stability tools. And when you use them with intention, not just out of habit, you create a system where your money is not just protected, but actually progressing. And that's the shift that changes everything.